Hey guys, be sure to check out the Mortar Pod, our weekly video podcast, and also check out the tutorial video for my board game, Travelers of Storia. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another Khans of Tarkir Swiss draft. I think we gotta take the dig through time. This thing is still worth some tickets, I think. Actually, I gotta look it up, see how much it's still worth. Yeah, it's still at about 5 or 6 tickets. That's pretty good. That's good enough for me. I mean, the one nice thing about uh, these drafts is even though I've been getting wrecked pretty handily, I'm still up. Isn't that amazing? How am I possibly still up? Well, besides the foil Sarkin, a lot of these cards are still worth like 5 or 6 tickets. They pay for like I basically can walk away from a Swiss draft with 1 win and still maybe pay $2 for that draft or $3 or $4 maybe, which is pretty insane. I'm gonna take the 5 tickets here, but I'm going to try and heed people's advice and go the 4 or 5 color route. I mean, I stubbornly tried my thing forever and just miserably failed. So why not? Why not? So I think the advice I was told, I did not watch the Wizards video that a couple people suggested I watch. I apologize for that. But from what I understand, it's fixing or bomb thing that'll win the game. So I don't see anything here that's super bomb that'll win the game. I mean, Burn Away is very good removal. You have to consider that as well. And that's true. I can consider that. I could also just take a Sultai card in Hooting Mandrills or Bitter Revelation, something like that. Possibly Scout the Borders, but let's take the Bloodfell Caves. Let's go for the Take a Ton of Fixing Pack 1. See how that goes. So Debilitating Injury is good removal, but there's also Thornwood Falls, Treasure Cruise. Finally got a chance to see LSV doing this in Modern, and wow. Wow, is this card insane in Modern. Wow, I had no idea how good it was until I watched him play it, and it was just insane. Just, as you would expect, alongside fetches and a bunch of one casting cost instant and sorcery speed spells, tends to be pretty insane. So Debilitating Injury is pretty good. It is good. It's just straight up good. It kills morph things for 2 mana. It gives you a cheap way to kill morph. It might actually be the pick over the Thornwood Falls, as good as the fixing is. I was under the impression cheap, good removal like Debilitating Injury should be high on the priority list. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I'm going to take the Debilitating Injury here because I think it's a really good card. We're still on the fixing plan, though. Don't get me wrong. Like here, for example, I don't see anything that's super bomb out of this pack. We've got a Delve card that's good, Snowhorn Rider, but yeah, I can probably take Blossoming Sands, and I'm not really missing out on anything too insane. I do love Raider Spoils. I think a couple of people said I picked it over something better, like the Abzan Battle Priest, the one that outlasts with lifelink, but I gotta say, I was a big fan of how this played. I ended up with a deck that had like 10 or 11 warriors in it, so I swear there were turns where I was like drawing 3 cards or something insane like that. I mean, consistently drawing cards every turn that's tough to beat in some spots. But yeah, let's take the Blossoming Sands here, whatever. Going for fixing. All right, so here's a Cliffs. Is there anything in here that's bomb and wins the game? Well, Aerialist is a pretty strong card, but I don't think that it's quite bomby enough to take over this Swiftwater Cliffs, so let's just go with the more fixing currently. Unless it's really good spot removal or some sort of bomb finisher, I'm going to try and take Swiftwater Cliffs. And I do consider Debilitating Injury to be pretty insane removal because it deals with morph guys so effectively. Okay, so no fixing out of this pack. Let's take the thing that presumably wins the game the best. I mean, Embodiment fixes us rather well. Bring Low is actual removal, so we should probably take that. Although, admittedly, it's not great removal. It's playable removal. It's just not great. We probably take the Bring Low. I mean, Embodiment's nice, but if we end up with a green light deck, I wouldn't like it. Whereas if we're playing 4 or 5 color, I guess what do we have so far? Black, red, white, green, blue. We've got everything already in these 3 lands, so we're already sort of committing to it. Yeah, I think we just take the Bring Low. It's pretty lackluster removal, but overall everything in here is pretty lackluster. Glacial Stalker maybe is a card I could think about a little bit closer, but that's okay. Killshot's some great removal. Seek the Horizon's a very good card for getting us to our 5 colors as well, but I think actually Killshot is what we're looking for. Okay, so Parapet's pretty good at holding down the fort, but I mean, even if you're 5 color, I think you should at least be focusing on some colors. So I want to be able to hit, obviously, black and white early. So maybe the Bondkin is a reasonable pick since I'm 5 color. I can just morph this out. Could also do the Tracker. Maybe this one's actually better for us because it's less color intensive to hard cast. I think you're going to have a hard time casting double color spells such as this Dig Through Time. I mean, Abzan Banner helps fix. Dragon's Eye Savants would be okay. Flock's a better card than that, I think. And Rite of the Serpent is good removal, but double black makes it more difficult to play. I probably can still just take it here. Even though I just said, double color and the casting cost is going to be more difficult if you're 4 or 5 color. I still think it's okay to pick up the right here. Tabling a Burnaway, I mean, sure. You got it. It's a good card. Briber's Purse, certainly not good in a 5 color I'm Crazy deck, but then again, none of these cards are super good for us. Well, let's take the Mastodon, I would say a 2/8 can hold down the fort reasonably well. Probably don't need a second one. Let's just take the Student. Take a Mentor here. Guess we'll take a Cavalry, not likely to play it, and that. Okay. So we only ended up getting 3 pieces of good fixing. I ended up taking an Injury over a piece of fixing and what was the other one? Well, Dig Through Time, obviously, but I'm presumably not even playing this. In fact, just by sheer coincidence, we ended up with Mardu colors, just trying to, cut the fixing. So maybe I can make maybe I'm being led to a Mardu deck? Is that what I'm to presume here? No fixing out of this pack. Could take the Chief of the Edge. It's going to be a little bit more color intensive, but maybe this sort of solidifies us into a more Mardu direction. So we want to focus on black-white, and then we can splash other colors if necessary. I'm probably okay with that. Bloodfire Mentor is going to be pretty underwhelming overall. But yeah, we can take a Lord here. I think that's okay. I don't see anything else super good in here. I could take a second Right, but it's a little bit expensive. And yeah, it's just nothing else really. Let's take the Chief of the Edge. Okay, well, we have some fixing here, so I think I got to take that. I like the Aerostorm, and I'm a big fan of Master of the Way. I don't see any big old finishers here. Warden of the Eye is a great 5-color card. Currently can bring us back, Injury, Kill Shot, Bring Low, Burn Away, Rite of the Serpent. That's a lot of targets potentially for it, but it would just have to be a blue splash. This isn't an actual finisher. It's more of just a big value card, so let's take the fixing here. I'm okay with that. Alright, Ascendancy gives you haste, and then whenever you play 4 power or better, which we currently have 0 of. So I don't think that's going to happen. Aerostorm's a card. Let's just take another Bloodfell Caves. I don't see anything super bonkers good in here that straight up wins games. I mean, I'm a big Sultai Flare fan, but we don't have much in that. Let's just take the Caves. Get some more fixing. I'm cool with that. Rakshaza. I don't think we have anything that exiles from my graveyard unless I burn my own guys, which that's just really strange. Suspension Field, however, that's great removal, and there's no fixing out of this pack. Otherwise, we could take the Aerostorm, which burns face, which is good, but we don't really look that beat down currently. The only reason I really like the Chief is Even if you're not a dedicated Warriors or Beatdown deck, a 2-mana 3/2 is pretty nice. There's nothing else in here really catching my attention. I think I'm just going to take the nice removal spell. Okay, no fixing out of here to note, so let's focus on our white-black plans. In that case, it's either the Saddle Brute or the Horde Chief. Saddle Brute might be the better pick. I guess Chief of the Edge works better with Horde Chief because it gives you 2 targets. Saddle Brute's a little more expensive, but this is a very powerhouse card. 4 mana, 4/5 is tough to deny. We may not actually have the resources to effectively get raid as often as we want right now. So it seems a bit worse. But none of these cards really seem worthy of a 4th color, you know? I think I'm going to take the Saddle Brute. I do like me some Saddle Brute. He's good. Alright, Hateblade's pretty reasonable card. Leaping Master's playable, but probably want the Warrior. Some green cards that are decent. Nothing too insane in here. I think I'm fine with a Hateblade. I like the Death Touch. Okay, well, we can take Hateblade number 2. There's a Sultai Charm, but even with our fixing, it's probably not worth branching out that hard, I don't think. There's not any other card to really of real note in here. Let's take the Hateblade. I think that's acceptable. Alright, Bitter Revelation is pretty good. Swiftwing's nice for turning on raid, but currently we only have the Saddle Brute for that, so not a big deal. Revelation's pretty good. It's a pretty good card. We could take the Lurkers, which is a fine creature. Not that great. I think Revelation overall is a better card. I'd rather draw some cards. Alright, Raider Spoils seems pretty reasonable here. There's a Grizzly, there's a Banner. Not really feeling them. Let's take the Spoils. How many Warriors do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? That's not many. But, oh, keep current color scheme. I still think, I mean, Master is technically a removal spell, and we have a piece of fixing for it. It just doesn't quite feel worthy of a splash. You know, I feel like by the time you play it, you have 1 card left in your hand, and that card's Master of the Way, so it feels really awkward on splash. That being said, Summit Prowler's not great because kind of already are good on the 4-drop department, but I guess we'll take it. Snake Skin, we can definitely take that, especially after I just got hosed by it. I don't mind taking it here. I don't need a second Mastodon, don't need to cancel. I guess we'll take a Shatter for sideboard. I guess we can take a Swift Kick. Sure thing, yes, okay. So, still trying to focus on white-black. And I know you wanted me to go 4 and 5 color. Did I have a good way to do that? I feel like we didn't see any of the tricolor lands. And I didn't pass too many of the common lands out of pack 1. I maybe passed 2 of them, which isn't too bad, I didn't think. But maybe it is bad, I don't know. It could take the Scoured Barrens here, hope to get some more fixing, but now I kind of feel like we're in a position where we're just kind of short on good playable cards. I'm kind of good on 4-drops, otherwise I'd probably want the Nightblade. I could splash for Abzan Charm by bringing in the Blossoming Sands, but not really feeling that. I mean, Dragon Throne's a good card, it's just kind of pricey. Kind of feel like I'm going to want something cheaper with the way this deck looks, just on the way our low end looks already. So I think the Bondkin is probably the right pick. We need to make sure we have plenty of cheap threats. Okay, well, War Shrieker's pretty reasonable. There's also Aerostorm, Ambusher, but I think it's another 4-drop, but I would play the War Shrieker over the Prowler. I guess I could take the Ambusher because it fills out our curve better. It is a nice morph card. Getting rid of a blocker is pretty nice, but it's not a warrior. Then again, neither is the War Shrieker. Really, the only warrior in here is the Krumar. I could go deep on Molting Snakeskins, but that probably tables anyway. I don't have much morph. How much value are we really getting off War Shrieker? We're not getting that much, to be honest. We have one, maybe two morph guys. Just one. One morph guy is pretty low. I'd probably play War Shrieker over Revelation for this deck because I'd rather have a threat than a Revelation. Alright, I guess I go War Shrieker. War Shrieker number 2 or Horde Chief. I think I actually want the Horde Chief because we're just short on 3 drops and it's a warrior, so it works great. Double warrior with Raider spoils. It's going to work well with the Chief of the Edge, of course. So, yeah, I can get behind that. Otherwise, Scoured Barons is good fixing for us, but we're, like I said, we're kind of short on actual good playable spells right now. So I just want to make sure that I can hit some good warriors because this deck is in some need of warriors. I don't want to play the Mastodon either. Really don't want to play that. Probably don't play the Revelation just because I've got enough 4-drops. Yeah. So I could take Despise. I can take another Tracker. Don't need the Prowler. I mean, Secret's okay. I do like Despise because it indicates to you what their morph guys are, but I think we're in the more in the market for creatures currently. So I'm going to take the Tracker number 2, even though I don't like it all that much. All right, we can take some fixing here. We're not giving up too much. A Valley Dasher, a Krumar, which is a warrior, but I'm cool with the Outpost. All right, so we can take a 2-drop creature here, which I guess is in order. There's really not that much else here that I can see, so all right. Let's see here. I've only got Bondkin that gets counters, is that right? Maybe it is. Attendants are too expensive. I'm not in green. I only have one piece of fixing for green. Doesn't seem worthy of a Savage Punch splash. Well, there's just not much of anything in here for us then. Maybe I have to take the attendants. I mean, I guess I take Jungle Hollow. I don't have any green spells though. I don't know. I'm taking the attendants. I think I'm going to get glitched too. I've been doing too many last second clicks. I'm going to take War Shrieker number 2 here. Like I said, I'd play it over the Prowler. Winter Flame, I don't have enough fixing. That's not really worthy of a splash anyway. Bringlow is an actual card, I guess, so we can take that. A lot of 4-drops, I admit. But what can you do? I think actually Blazebringer is playable. I admit, not great, but keep in mind it's a warrior. None of these cards matter for us. I guess we'll hate the card that's good against us. If I cut the Prowler, this is 23 cards. It's not the best deck I've ever ran. Maybe I could have. I don't know if I could have gone 4 or 5 color deck here. I don't know. Maybe you viewers can let me know if that was even possible. But I don't know. Maybe I could have. I just kind of felt like I was directed towards Mardu. After that first pack, I just picked up a bunch of fixing, and all the cards I was left with were white, black, and red. All right, well, we've got ourselves a deck. I think we're ditching the attendants, just too expensive. Man, I'd prefer to not play 18 lands if I'm trying to be reasonably aggressive, which I feel like this deck is. I have awkward removal now with this deck, like Killshot, which isn't a bad card by any means, but like I've said a few times, people might have disagreed with me on this, but Killshot's not all that good when you're trying to be aggressive. When you have cards like Valley Dasher that have to attack each turn, Killshot's really not doing that much for you, except sitting in your hand and waiting for them to get enough value to attack you and kill you. And then at that point, it's hardly a card. But, I mean, we still have to play it. We're just short on playables. Not like insanely short on playables, but would have liked a few more good ones. Our removal, let's see. debilitating injury, suspension field, kill shot, double bring low, burn away, right. Our creatures, we're a little bit creature light, which isn't good, but I don't know what I'm really cutting otherwise. I can't even comfortably play Summit Prowler in this deck anyway because of how red intensive it is. I think I'm running it like this. How many warriors did I end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a pretty low warrior count. I mean, the good news is Raider Spoils works with everything, so it doesn't matter. And Raider Spoils is actually pretty good, I guess, with the first strikers, so that's kind of cool. Do I play 18 lands? I feel uncomfortable doing that, but we're actually pretty black light now and like red heavy. This is an awkward deck. I mean, I got 4 pieces of fixing, which is pretty good. But we're like a pretty almost even split of our 3 colors, so I may have to do 18 lands, which I dislike doing, but maybe if I do the 18 lands, I cut a kill shot for an attendance, but that's kind of awkward too. It's a pretty ugly deck. I don't really like it all that much, but I mean, if we see all of our colors, we could do something. Am I doing 18 lands? That keeps being the question. Top out at really like 1 card at 6. It feels pretty uncomfortable to do 18 lands with this deck. I think I'm going to go with 17. So 4 sources of red, 4 sources of black already, which means 1 source of white. I need the hookup in white. So sort by color. Oh, we're pretty much an even split. What were our top colors? Are red. I thought red was... That's funny. I thought red was our splash color, and it's like our dominant color. So, yeah. 4 sources of red, 4 sources of black. I'd like at least 7 sources of white, I think, in the deck. So, I think we got to up this by 2, which means we have to lower some of these. So if I go like this is 7 sources of black, 7 sources of white, 8 sources of red. I think that's what we got to do. Not a really good looking deck. Not gonna lie. Not the most effective looking deck I've ever drafted, but I tried. I'm just not very good at the 4 and 5 color drafting, I guess. I don't know. So I guess we got to run it like this, and well, yeah, this will be interesting. I'll see you round 1.